Hi, I'm Elizabeth Demers, and I'm really thrilled to have been asked to be part of this panel. Greg Britton, the editorial director, is one of the original members of this collaborative team. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, so it is my pleasure to talk a little bit about what the press's challenges are in this particular project. The one thing that I like so much about this project is its collaborative nature. It is a farm-to-table approach to research that we haven't really seen much of before in terms of cooperation between scholarship, libraries, and presses, in terms of not just making the information in the black newspapers accessible to researchers, but to then making the commitment to create new, definitive, fabulous scholarship that is based on those resources. And Kim talked about that to some extent, the 4 books that are currently in peer review. Her own book on the short story tradition in America, political cartoons from Muhammad Speaks, transnational literature, and children's content in the Chicago Defender. And we are super excited to have the opportunity to work with Kim and with the libraries on these books. They are shorter format titles between 30 to 50,000 words, and they will have various levels of illustration and additional kinds of content based on what the authors really envision for these books. They're all in peer review right now. What is really exciting about what the press can do is what presses always can do for scholarship, which is quality control, peer review, editorial quality, reputation, and brand. These are books that are born digital. They are intended to be primarily electronic books. So what are the goals for an electronic book? Open access electronic books. Who is going to be reading these and using these? As a scholar myself, I am so excited about open access material, and having really high quality open access material is a wonderful thing. The other applications that we're kind of thinking about, how do we market these? How do we market ebooks? One of the things I think is really an interesting idea is marketing these particular ebooks to digital humanities courses, not just to African American history courses or history survey courses, or the places where you would traditionally think about marketing history titles, but to digital history courses or history methods courses, or ways that we can think about that. Now, we're talking about marketing something that's open access. How do you monetize that? How do you make that sustainable? For a university press, this is one of our biggest challenges, creating content that we can then sell, that we need the money to be able to create new content and support ourselves. And so that's a question we haven't really answered yet. And I know that's one of the big questions in open access, but we will continue to think creatively about that and collaboratively with Kim and with the libraries and with the authors. There will be print-on-demand versions of these titles, and that was something that came to us from the authors. They specifically requested that there be some print version of this available, and there are various reasons for that. So we're hoping that while the print versions probably will not be able to sustain the model long-term, it should be interesting to see the different usages between the print versions and the ebook versions of those. I don't really want to talk about software because that's not my thing. I'm the history editor. I don't deal much with workflow or ebooks or that sort of thing. And I can't read my own handwriting either, so I apologize. So one of the final things I want to talk about, and my presentation is brief today, is how will the print book differ from the ebook? And this, again, is something that is author-specific. We don't have a cookie-cutter approach to this right now. In the authors' proposals for their individual titles, we have authors requesting various kinds of enhancements in the ebook. Some want an appendix that is not just searchable but linkable to various things, extra images, videos, and so it's just really going to depend from book to book to book. what's most interesting to me from a scholarship perspective about this is that these are books that don't just use the Black press as a resource, but that focus on the Black press as a subject matter in and of itself. And I think that's one of the things that makes this collaboration so exciting. It's a really unique opportunity to make information available and then create a body of work based on that information. So I'm pretty much done with that, if anyone has questions.